Hit it.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Questions of Yalpelor, 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 Yalpelor. Welcome to Questions of Yalpelor.
Good evening. Welcome.
Amazing.
Yes, I am transparent again. But I will have you know that when I came up on the stream solo on Saturday night, I went for a full 5 minutes or more being muted without even noticing it until nice people in chat alerted us, just like they do today. So that was very nice of you to tell us so. This time I kind of did pick up on it quickly enough, but it was enough to force us to do the theme song again. So thank you very much, Matt, for being a trooper and repeating this awesome improvised creation, musical masterpiece when we really needed you to do it again.
It's a shame the audience missed all those really funny jokes and puns we were saying, though.
I mean, the best
never
2
been
minutes
funnier.
of
Never.
the show's history, probably.
We never will be again.
And no one will ever know.
You guys, Wheel of Fortune came on to finish Netflix, and it's the best.
Wait, but please, do they dub it over or do they just subtitle it?
No, nothing is dubbed and finished, but it's just on Netflix, so it's just like the shows. But I'm watching it, and my oldest daughter, who has never seen the American or English version, she's like, "Have you seen these before?" I'm like, "No, I'm just super good at Wheel of Fortune." Okay, I'm done.
I somehow missed
There's like one letter, and you're like,
I missed the
quote by-
segue in the conversation when we moved to talking about Wheel of Fortune on Finnish Netflix.
Yeah,
I'll accept
I
it.
also
I'll
missed
accept
that.
it.
How did we get to
Yes,
that?
I'm not sure, but again, the probably the best 20 seconds in the show's history, right there. For anyone who's here for the first time tonight, Questers of Yalpelor is what you're seeing. It might not look like it, but it's gonna be in just a minute. Questers of Yalpelor is a weekly online improvised adventure game comedy show. I'm Itamar, I'm your host and game master, and these are 4 of my best friends in the whole wide world, hilarious improvisers and actors that I've asked to play in this game with me and travel through the lands of Yalpelor. So let's introduce our players. First we have Matt playing Grapple Bumblin Esquire, a quarterling bubblemancer, desperately seeking to reclaim his family fortune. We have Jada playing Triss, a nebulous summoning who has only recently gained sentience, now gleefully exploring life in Yalpelor with their new friends. And we have Talia playing Aklis Darkmoor, traveling Death Knight with an ancestral sword and lots of family history. And finally, Trent playing the Invisible Man, Durt Hotbelly. His father is an angel, his mother is a volcano, and he's 100% half rock body. There he is, right there. All right. So these players are going to play their characters, but not only that, I asked them to play this game with me because I want them to add some more improvised details. It could be characters, scenes, whole other details about the world that I haven't decided in advance, and all in all, make my job as game master more interesting and chaotic than it would otherwise be. The game system we're using is Macchiato Monsters. It's an old school game in the style of Dungeons & Dragons. The character portraits you see on the screen right next to me right here are done by Shani Grimm. Music is by tabletopaudio.com. Attributions are down in the Twitch channel description and the YouTube video description if you want to go and check them out yourself. We are now ready for a word from our sponsor. Hit it.
Today's episode is brought to you by Pain. Ouch. Pain.
Ouch.
Yeah, that resonated with me.
Ouch, indeed. Pain, both virtual and actual. Thank you very much, Pain, and we will recap a little bit and talk about what happened last time. Our heroes went into the jungle to the south and east of the capital city. It's in the far reaches of Yalpelor, the kingdom of Yalpelor. They went there because they're looking for the life tree. The life tree, which is rumored to be in this jungle, and we know that there's at least 2 other groups of characters who are after this prize. So our heroes are on their way into the jungle to look for this fabled tree, which grows a seed with mythical properties, and hoping to get there before the others who are on their way. We begin today's episode. In the morning still, our questers just recently woke up from a night's sleep in the jungle. Their first night there. Next to them, there is a little wagon tied to a horse. And on the wagon, already awake and in the middle of a prayer, is a feminine figure called Wilk, companion for our characters. And all four of our heroes are in wherever they are around the wagon. Let's describe where you are right now physically. So where are you? I'd like to know where you're located right now, like around this little camp that you set up during the night. You want to start with Triss?
I was gonna say, so Triss doesn't sleep, so Triss is not and has not been asleep.
Mm-hmm.
But especially because, you know, the episode before, the day before, Triss sort of like, you know, flying squirreled it down, and we've been talking about these two different directions. Triss spent most of the evening talking to Marigold until Marigold fell asleep, and then as soon as Wilk woke up and started talking, Triss has sort of like found different places, almost ninja-like, to watch the prayer, because they're trying to see if Wilk can do anything, or if it's just words and they haven't quite figured it out yet. So they just kind of like, every so often there's almost like a ninja roll, and then they're at a different wheel, and then maybe they're under a bundle of cloth. So Triss is just constantly moving around the wagon.
We did do some things since the morning. I will remind you. Something did happen. Specifically, Grubble and Triss, you climbed a tree, and Grubble threw you up in the air so that you could float a little bit and look around and get some impressions. They're actually written down here. I wrote them down, what you saw in two different directions, which you can now read to remind yourself, and then have a little conversation about what just happened. So Triss, you're around Wilk, looking from different angles, trying to see what she's up to. She's doing the same thing. She's talking to herself, what she considers to be prayer. And again, I will describe what I think you already saw last night or the night before. I don't remember. I think it was during the trek towards the jungle. You heard that she has pauses while she's talking, as if she's getting answers from someone, but you're not hearing anyone talk back to her. Grubble, where are you at this instance?
Well, if we're not immediately heading off in one direction or the other, Grubble is probably going up to trees, and he's going to try and bleed some tree sap out of a tree to help him with his glue magic that he's been working on. Trying to make stickier bubbles.
Nice. All right. Not bad. So trying to harvest sticky sap from the trees. We'll
right.
roll for it in a second. Yeah, let's talk about Aklis. Where is Aklis, and what are they up to right now?
Aklis is walking next to the wagon, I guess. And also, I wanted to protest the fact that you mentioned Wilk's name, but did not bother to mention Marigold's name. They are a very important character, in case, you know, anyone thought they weren't. So
yeah, Marigold, the horse. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So where is Aklis?
Oh, walking next to the wagon.
Just next to it. You're not walking yet. You haven't picked up all of your things yet. It's just
right. So just next to the wagon, getting ready.
Cool. And now, Durt. I will begin a partial description. Durt is just finishing his breakfast, which we all remember from the end of last episode. Please describe to us what you just ate.
I want to. Was it? I forgot what it was. Was it mushrooms?
A bunch of mushrooms. Yep, that's what it was.
Yeah, a bunch of mushrooms.
I definitely forgot that.
Right.
I knew it was something that was altering in some, you know, like state altering, but I forgot it was mushrooms. Yeah, mushrooms. Which, first of all, Durt doesn't really eat in general. So eating like you know, Durt doesn't eat like, I guess, organic matter.
Is it like a Cookie Monster meal, like you eat and most of it falls out? It just breaks.
No, it goes in, but I guess it doesn't. Like okay, let's say if a normal humanoid ate food, they would, you know, ingest it and digest it. But with Durt, it just kind of enters and like soaks in. if that makes sense.
Maybe
it coats. Yes. It coats. Have you seen that episode of The Simpsons where Homer is eating chilies and he decides to like put wax down his throat and coat it so that he doesn't have to like actually get the spice? It's basically that. And actually in that episode he hallucinates, so it's a pretty good illusion. So yeah, so that's basically what happens. Is it almost coats the inside of like the mouth and the base of the throat.
And when that happens, I will describe again something that happened at the end of the last episode. Durt realizes that suddenly the cacophony of sounds of nature around you that you felt for the past couple of days, that you had trouble managing and being able to listen to and zero in on different voices among them, suddenly becomes much clearer. You're able to just clear your mind and listen to only one or a couple of them at a time if you want to. You can feel your companions and their life force around you.
And my heartbeat.
Sorry?
And my heartbeat, like, all the lava, like, flowing in between the
flow of
everything.
magma underground,
in every crack.
Your skin,
every crevice.
You can feel the life, the teeming life around you, and then you realize that you have done something for the first time, something that you didn't anticipate what the result of it is going to be, and a surge of chaos happens. It starts with you, and it just spreads out in a wave around you, and immediately, from 0 to high in 1 second, all of you, everyone around this little clearing that you had, that you prepared during the night.
I'd like to know what Wilk does when Wilk is high.
That is a great question. Maybe it'll be revealed in a second, but right now, all of you all feel different. Your mind is altered. You see the world around you in new ways. I'm not gonna decide for you exactly what that is. I'm gonna want you to tell me what your character acts like. What do you do? Who's the first one who says or does something?
I think probably Durt, just because the others have no idea why all of a sudden they got altered. So Durt probably does. And what Durt sees is almost like, imagine Predator vision, but with clarity. Like, instead of everything being like heat mapped where it's only the warm things that glow, everything is still normal, but whatever Durt is trying to focus on has a glow, like in a heat map, but still kind of all the same colors. Like, it's highlighted, if that makes sense.
It was also in kind of like a jungle, that movie, wasn't it? Well, in a forest.
I'm gonna say yes.
I seem to remember.
Yeah. So it in that essence, it sort of helps Durt. It doesn't so much mute the cacophony. It just helps to focus the perception on whatever it is that Durt, with this sort of altered state, needs to be focused on. He might not even know what it is. So it's a guiding assistance.
Cool, nice. How about Atlas? When you realize you don't see the world the same way that you used to, all of a sudden, what do you do?
Do I even realize that, or is it suddenly just, the new normal?
Well, that kind of depends on you. It's up to you.
I don't think I'm that smart. Yeah, not that smart.
Okay, so it just seems normal.
I'm just gonna...
Yeah, that to be connected to the world around you, to see it like a big living organ, all interconnected.
Yeah. What's around us? Like, we're not in the forest anymore. So what's the...
It's the same jungle you've traveled through the previous day. You used a Dirt's spell to clear a path in front of you, and you walked quite comfortably with the wagon behind you. So you're in a clearing, but all around you it's like very, very thick jungle. Trees with wide leaves making curtains that kind of hide the terrain around you. A long grass, multicolored grass that kind of weaves around the low branches. Some of the grass is as high as your waist or more. And large flower buds, which are the flowers that open only at night in this jungle. The shiny, the light-giving flowers. Right now they're all closed, so they look like they haven't bloomed yet. Yeah, all of these like signs of life and sounds of animals, most of whom you don't really see around you.
I'm gonna go talk to a tree.
All right, cool. Yeah, you can go talk to a tree. What do you say?
Hello.
Nice.
Hi.
My name is Aklis Darkmoor. What's your name?
My name is Tree.
It's an absolute pleasure to meet you. Can I just say, you look splendid.
Oh, I've been working on it for like 100 years.
100 years.
Yeah.
That's so
I
long.
got this bark. Wanna touch the bark? It's really pleasant texture.
Incredible.
All right, sure. Triss, how about you?
Can't hear you.
1
Tris.
minute, I think.
There we go.
Sorry.
I couldn't hear you for a minute. You're back.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it feels like for Triss too. It feels, because again they were in the midst of doing in some ways like Triss Ninja, but it was just, normal things, like normal, dexterous acrobatics, like a little bit of smoke, sneak through a wall, like sneak through a wheel, then come up through a piece of cloth, and then like stick their eyes out, see if they can freak out Wilk. So in kind of the process of doing that, they just sort of slip. And then you just sort of see like, there's sort of like a ball of Triss, and then in a second, there's just like a little puddle. And Triss is just kind of big eyes staring up at the ceiling, and all you can hear is, "Stop looking at me."
Is this in the wagon? Is this happen in the wagon or just on the ground somewhere?
It's I think it was in the process of like doing one of the maneuvers where Triss like kind of leaves the wagon to go to another wagon wheel to come up at a different angle from Wilk, and in doing so sort of to the side, potentially kind of closer to Marigold's hoof,
Okay.
has now become a little bit of a Triss puddle of Triss,
Cool, nice.
but
Okay.
a very paranoid puddle of Triss.
So you're there. You're around. You can hear Wilk from close by and still on the wagon going. I wonder what to do about the chaotic ones. They often just go on their own, do their own thing, even though Grapple is such a capable leader, but they don't listen to him. And then she speaks in another voice and goes,
Oh, my child, I think that you should maybe get to know Grapple a little better and make him trust you. You are our messenger. You can do it. You can show them the right way to go about their quest.
and then she does another voice.
I think maybe you should stay more distant. Maybe play a little bit hard to get. Yes, he's bound to notice you if you just stay away a little bit. Stay keep him at an arm's length. I think. No, she should totally go for it. She should totally try to talk to Grapple.
And she switches back between these different voices and her own voice, asking questions and guidance, and just
What a fucking
answering
weirdo.
in different voices. Grubble, you approach one of the trees next to you, and you have what are you trying to cut the bark? What is the implements?
I've got my my knife, my swish knife. It's shorter than a short sword and longer than a dagger. It's
Cool. So you
Push
draw it. You get close to the tree. How about you roll dexterity?
okay. 1 second. A critical success.
A critical success means that when the bark dial that is hidden on the bark of the tree opens its maw and tries to bite you, you just suddenly find something else which is much more interesting and decide to give up on this tree and the sap for a second and go check that. What is that other thing you're going to check on right now?
Well, if I'm also stoned
Mm-hmm.
from the stoned magic, I think it's like that. It's like this. I feel like I'm at sea in that I'm kind of rolling and shaking around, and I suddenly feel lighter. And because I have lighten object magic, I cast it on myself to reflect this, and I start sort of. I'm not actually floating, but I'm almost floating. I'm a lot lighter than normal, and I'm just sort of like drifting around.
Is it like
Sort of-
I like to think that's just in Grebel's head, that he's not actually just
Yeah.
acting and thinking he is, but he's like, oh.
He thinks he's cast lighten object on himself, but he actually is just going, whoa,
Wonderful. You
Well,
suddenly
this is
find yourself
different.
floating like a moonwalk, like you have
That's right.
yeah, like long steps
Ooh.
along the ground, and behind you, a large barcadile just steps off from the bark of the tree, and where your head was just a second ago, it closes its jaw, but then it falls down, and it's the jaw, the maw just sticks in the ground, and it gets stuck in the ground with its muzzle there. You look at this new development, all of you, and you see that this barcadile is joined by 3 of its friends, and those 3 haven't been foiled by Grubble's sudden hallucination. They just slither down from the bark to the ground and starts crawling towards you. Aklis, one of them is right from on the tree that you were talking to. So your hand, which is reaching towards the bark, has almost touched it. It was actually the barcadile on the tree, and it's now crawling down on the ground towards you to try to bite your feet. And the 2 other ones, Triss, they have passed right next to you. They haven't noticed you because you're a puddle on the floor, on the ground, and they're going towards Marigold to try to devour her. So that's what's happening around you. One barcadile is disabled temporarily, but 3 others are very much up and trying to get you. You and your your riding animal. How about you tell me what you do, and let's start with Durt. Yeah.
So, Durt is going to look at the mushrooms that he's been consuming, and he's going to just sort of start talking to them and be like, "So what did you just? What? Wait a minute. What just? Because what happened?"
Oh, dude, what happened? Let me tell you exactly what's going on, man. And you'll get an answer in a second. But what does everyone else do? Aklis.
Aklis is currently crying because the tree is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But I think even in their altered state, they might recognize that there's a danger. So I'm gonna... I have new stuff. I'm gonna try and grapple the thing in front of me.
Grapple it. Excellent.
Yep.
I love that. So that is that going to be like instead of your attack, or is it? How is it going to?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So remember, you can do several things every round. So
Yeah.
So you can describe other things as well. But the first thing you're going to try to do is just grapple it, which is cool. Triss, how about you? These things are 2 of them are crawling right next to you.
So, Triss' eyes sort of like move across the pebble and then see these barcadiles, and they go, ooh, and they mimic to become a barcadile.
Ooh. Okay.
And so what you see is that the puddle on the ground elongates and begins to have these like black kind of scales that go one on top of it, another, and these little like teeth, which look suspiciously like the arrows of a bear owl feather, start sprouting in this elongating jaw. And it's still like Triss's very happy big eyes, but they're sort of rolling because Triss is really fucked up. And they start stalking behind the other 2 barcadiles.
Okay, nice. Do you mimic color as well, or are you black, just like you always are?
I think it'll be black. Like I think Triss would be black, like they always are.
Cool, nice. And now Grubble. I'm not sure you even noticed the one behind you, but maybe you see around you enough to know what's going on. What do you do?
So I realize that there's something dangerous, and I'm just sort of the signal's starting to get to my brain. So I'm going to use a reagent to power myself up. My bubble wand. Oh, 9, very nice.
Very nice.
And because it's kind of he can't make his mind up as to what to do, so it's going to be a combination of all 3 types of magic at once. It's going to be bubble and wind and glue fired at a Barkadile, just because he just sort of doesn't decide. So it's a weakened version of all 3. And normally it involves kind of these hand gestures and then like a push, but now it comes. He does it when he makes sound effects at the same time. So he's like,
okay. There's a vague memory of a half-forgotten sentence, a comment made in the middle of one of your lessons from university. One of the teachers is saying, combining different elements is extremely dangerous. Should only be done in controlled situations. This thing flows through your mind, but then is drowned out by the sounds of magic crackling and flowing. But first to act is going to be actless, because you're just grappling something. It's going to be very easy to just get your hands on it. Roll your strength.
Okay.
Itamar, can you turn the volume down just a touch on the music?
Sure.
Yay.
Nice, well done.
That's a success. So remember, you can do 4 things. So the first thing you do is you just crouch down and you grab the Barkadile and you grapple it. You hug it tightly. You're holding it. It can't get away, at least right now. Maybe next round it'll be able to do something about it. What do you do with your other actions?
Can I try and like squish it real hard?
Squish it real hard. Yes, you can. That's what you do with your entire round?
I thought you might like wield it, like almost like try to like smack it with the tail, like smack it into the ground, but I like the squishing.
Sure. Roll, so because it's like 3 attacks, you roll a 3 6-sided dice.
Okay.
Yep, that's the damage you do when you squish it.
Nice.
12 means you break it well. It's a Barkadile, so it breaks like a hollow piece of wood. There's like crack and just cracks form, and it starts breaking up, but it's still alive. It's still thrashing. Next round, it's gonna try to attack you again. Next, Grubble, cast your spell. Roll intelligence.
okay. That does not surprise.
So this is a failure. We don't know exactly how many hit points you paid for this, right?
Right, we didn't establish that. No.
So
normal. I'm looking at the small versions. Like each one, a normal small one is 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
So it's probably at least 4 or 5. It could be 6.
So
Could be
just
7.
take the minimum
Could be
out
8.
of 3 of them.
9.
Let's not go too crazy.
The
Be
minimum
7.
of 3 of them is going to be at least 6, right?
Okay.
Let's say it's going to be 6 hit points out of the 9 you got from the reagent.
Yep.
Some bubbles fly out, but you failed. You want to roll on the chaosometer in order to try to get something out of it anyway.
I'm not sure if Grebble's quite focused enough just on round 1 to see that didn't properly work. So I think no.
Okay, so you probably think it did work. Some sticky bubbles shoot out in the air. They float
Also,
around.
I go backwards at the same time because I'm blowing out wind forward, and I just sort of go whoosh.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you think you've just shot a jet of air and bubbles, but you just jumped back in order to just create a distance between you and them. Cool. So Grapple is doing his and just dancing about. Triss.
I imagine a 30-year-old like guy doing parkour by himself on a playground.
Or like
Can't do parkour. Yeah.
Or like thinking that they're Neo, like thinking that they're just like leaning all the way backwards, but really they're like.
It's like the Star Wars kid
Wonderful. So that's Grapple off doing his own thing, not bothering anyone. Triss, you are your shape is like one of the Barkadiles now. What do you do?
So part of like why Triss did it is because they seem really cool and really dangerous. So Triss's teeth, as mentioned, are like the little barrel feathers, and like the long tail is Schlufsa. Fun fact. Because that's how this works. And as they're stalking these Barkadiles, they see Marigold and they're so happy. And they look at the Barkadiles and they're so happy because they're new friends. But if they see Aklis at this point attacking the Barkadile, I think Triss would probably think it was a game and jump a Barkadile.
They're just hugging.
Yeah, like I think that's literally what Triss would think it is. It's like, if that's what Aklis would do, that's what Triss would do.
Well, this is a strength roll for you then. Go ahead.
Okay, that would make sense. That's not a good thing. Okay.
Yeah, you made it. You jump on the Barkadile and you stop it in place. You just land heavily right on the Barkadile. You're the same size and weight as they are, so you could just land on and just pin them down to the ground. They try to get away, but they don't manage to. At least not right now. Next round we'll see what's happening. The other
Triss
one
is like a golden retriever, like sitting on top of this Barkadile, like I did good. See, Aklis, I did good.
And somehow,
does Triss
even
do
though
any damage?
Barkadiles can't smile, this one does. Somehow, it's smiling. Yeah, as it's
Exactly.
sitting on
It's
top
really
of the-
horrifying though. Like Barkadiles do not have a dental plan.
Yeah.
Question though, does that do any damage to the Barkadile?
Sure. Roll a d6.
A whole d6.
Mm-hmm.
5.
5. Cool. That's some dents. That's some cracks that are forming in the Barkadile's back, but not too much. And now it is Durt. And the mushrooms, yeah, they talk back to you and they go, you're connected, man. You're part of everything. You're one of us, and we're part of you.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It is far out, actually. Yeah.
So while Dirt's trying to listen to the mushrooms, he hears all this kind of like hubbub in the background and makes it kind of hard for him to, enjoy this conversation. So he's just going to like kind of turn, look annoyed, and see the Barkadiles approach his friends, and just out of pure instinct, without ever having tried this or knowing that it's possible, he's going to look at them and just slam his foot on the ground and create a crack, like a crevice, opening up in the ground for the Barkadiles to fall into as they try to attack his friends. Just like,
Nice.
and then back to the conversation.
So there is one that Triss didn't stop, and it's moving towards Marigold unopposed. Is that the one?
That
you're trying
one.
to
That's
trap?
the one then.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's do that, but that's gonna be the next round. So we'll ask everyone what you're all doing. You can get some more information out of the mushrooms. You can still keep talking to them.
So like that's just like a not even a thought. It's like a
trust them.
flinch, and then right back to the mushrooms.
Yeah. Okay. So in a second we'll do all the dice rolls. Triss, you had a question?
Oh, yeah. I guess how far on the one I have splashed? How far is the other like Barkadile? How far away from Triss is Marigold?
It's you were pretty close to begin with. So let's say it's like 2
That's
meters.
what I thought.
from
I was
you
like
to
right
her.
by Marigold's hoof. So
Yeah, the other Barkadile is really close. It's very close to Marigold. It's slithering right underneath the wagon right now, right under, like between the wheels of the wagon towards Marigold. So Triss, what do you do when you see this?
Wilk.
Do not let him get our baby.
Yeah, I have a. What is Wilk doing?
Wilk has just noticed what's going on and is now
Wilk.
looking past the peeking past the side of the wagon, but she's not seeing the one underneath the wagon because it's hidden from her. She only sees Grapple flying away, doing like some magic in the periphery, and Aklis wrestling another Barkadile. So she's gonna call to Grapple and try to get his attention to do something. She's not gonna help with this one because she doesn't see it.
Well, if the Barkadelle is trying to slither under the wagon towards Marigold, and Triss sees this, again, Triss thinks this is a game. Triss thinks this is kind of like tag, or possibly sort of like a catch sort of scenario. So Triss has been spending a little too much time with Grapple, and truly believes that in some ways, even without Grapple, they can bounce. There's been a lot of dexterity training recently. So they're going to use their space on the other kind of squished Barkadile to jump from one Barkadile to the other to try to like grab the Barkadile's tail in their mouth, like bite down on it.
All right. That seems like that's going to be a dexterity roll, but let's do it in a second. Aklis, what is your action?
The thing I'm grappling is still alive?
Yes, it is. It's very wounded, but it's still alive.
Right, I'm gonna squish it harder, make it not be alive, I guess, make it dead.
Just continue squishing it until it is gone.
Yeah.
Get to death. Hug it to death.
No problem. Grapple,
That's what I'm about.
Cuddle dial.
your action.
So for Grapple, it's like he's suddenly aware of things that were happening just before combat started. So he's suddenly aware that he was almost bitten by the Barkadile by the tree. He's backed up far enough that he's hit a tree. And he's gonna jump off the tree towards the one that was face down in the ground to like swing at it with the swish knife. And he's gonna shout, "We've been poisoned!" Because that's what he thinks has happened.
All right. So at the one who's trying to bite you originally.
So the original one that fell off the tree and got stuck in the ground.
Yeah.
'Cause
Okay.
that's
cool.
that's as far as his brain is caught up with the events that are happening.
No problem.
Next time he'll hear Wilk trying to get his attention.
Yeah, you probably will, but you've already committed to an action. You can just try to just do what you do. So that's gonna be a roll for you as well. So yeah, everyone roll what you roll to attack. And Durt, this is your new. Is this your new spell? Your newfound power to manipulate Earth? I think that means that you need to pay your own hit points for now because you still don't have the power to power these spells, right? You don't have. Creating a crack in the ground. Let's write that down as a new use of this spell to manipulate Earth, and I think that is going to be. I think that is going to cost probably 5 hit points because it's an area spell. It can affect multiple enemies when you use it. It's quite a powerful.
I'm calling it Crevice.
Crevice is nice. Yeah, Crevice is.
Rev ass.
So pay 5 hit points and roll your wisdom.
I wanted to ask, am I dexterity or strength in this situation?
But I get advantage because it's my ability, right?
No, it's not with advantage. It's casting a spell in combat. It doesn't give you advantage. Your trait. Traits
But then
give
it means I
advantage
didn't.
outside
Then it means
of
it
the
didn't
fight.
work.
Which is good, because now Triss won't fall in a hole.
Let's call
I mean,
it.
you don't know that.
No,
I might
it's
still.
it's a melee attack. It's strength. It's strength.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's unsurprisingly a failure.
Yeah. So you didn't make it. Dirt, you didn't make it. Aklis, you made it. So roll 4 6-sided dice to do damage. You're quite powerful.
Okay. Ugh.
That's a very bad roll, but as it so happens, it's just enough. It's exactly enough to destroy the creature. You find it hard to get a grip. It kind of slips through your hands and tries to slither out. It's quite dexterous. It's moving quite quickly, but you make it. And you just crush it and split it apart in 2 halves, which fall down on the floor dead, and it's full of sticky sap. Yeah, it's kind of all over your armor now. You have to clean it afterwards.
No.
Yeah, and how about Triss's roll when you rolled dexterity?
Triss did
You
it.
made it. Yeah. So the thing is, these creatures, it's kind of hard to see them. So roll wisdom to see if you even can locate it when it's on the ground like that.
But I can sense it.
You can sense it. How?
I can empathically sense, what an entity wants.
Excellent. So use
and
one
I
of
am sensing this guy in front of me.
spend
I'm
one
like,
of your-
you don't get it. Like, Triss is convinced this is a game. And it's sort of like, I don't know if you ever played the game where you almost jump from log to log. It was a video game. Triss is doing that,
Oh
but
yeah,
with
Frogger,
Barkadines.
of course. You're playing
Yeah.
Frogger with, so of course you can do that, but spend one of your uses of your empathy ability because you're trying to figure out where. Actually, it's like Space Invaders. You're trying to jump not at the creature, but where it's going. You know, you're trying to jump ahead of it because it's moving on the ground. So you use your empathy in order to realize where it is and where it's going to try to jump exactly on it. However,
That's like most sports where you have to pass something.
And
I would
for
know, but
reflection,
yeah, I believe you. I totally believe what you're saying.
Video
yeah.
game reference rather than
Totally,
you know,
yes.
exactly.
facial.
I mean, the fact that Triss has so far been relatively good at this just makes me believe that Triss High is probably a lot more competent than Triss Silver.
Like, go right ahead. Roll. So don't roll wisdom. You just use your empathy and you jump right on top of the creature.
And I do a d6 because the idea was to get the tail in my mouth, basically, like jump on it, big play.
Yeah, sure. You can just hang on to the tail and do a d6 of damage.
Don't put it in your mouth. It's dirty.
If you put it in your mouth, well, I still get. Ooh, I like.
5 to this and 5 to the previous one. They're both slightly wounded, but not too much. And now, Grubble and Durt, you both missed. I will remind you that you can always use a Chaosometer to roll on the Chaos table instead of just accepting the miss. So you need to remember and tell me when you do that. I'm not gonna remind you too much because it's for every failure on a d20 from now on, just so you remember. Okay?
Okay.
Sure.
I don't think Gribble would do it on a sword strike because he'd still fail on a round 2.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
Durt didn't even pay attention if it worked. He didn't even really realize he was doing it. It was like a split reaction, and then he's right back talking to the mushrooms.
What do you want to know? We can tell you lots of stuff about the world around you, because, you know, mushrooms, we're all brothers and sisters in this jungle, man. We're all connected. There's like a network, and we talk to each other freely. It's like, it's far out, man. What do you want to know?
It's pretty cool. I mean, just tell me everything. I got nothing but time right now.
Well, let's tell you everything. Sure, this jungle, when it just started, it actually used to be just like a half submerged under the water. There was like water knee high all over the place, and we only could grow on the barks of the trees high up.
Do you mean like your knees, or like do mushrooms have knees?
No, for you, we don't have knees. No, we have like spores and shit, man. It's not.
So what would you reference that if I wasn't here? How high would you say as a reference point? What would the mushroom you use in that case?
Well, I don't know, man. We don't see too much around us. We don't get like good eyesight. We just talk to each other and we get like different impressions of the world around us. We're not so beholden to the sense of sight, man. We can do lots of different things. We sense a lot of stuff.
You know, it's pretty interesting all this stuff you're saying about the swamp, but really, I kind of want to know more about what you did to me and how what it means.
Oh, let me tell you all about it. Yeah, Triss.
I'm not gonna lie. Seems like a shiitake situation. But I do have a question. Yeah. But I do have a question. Because Triss is sort of honed in on these Barkadiles empathically, to kind of locate them, but again, that means that they're feeling their intent or feeling what they're feeling. What is Triss getting from the Barkadiles?
Oh, it wants to eat Marigold. That's just what they want to do.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's all they want to do. New round, Triss, because we were already with you. What do you do?
Oh, yeah, so this isn't a game anymore. This is a death match. And so Triss bites off the Barkadile's head, or tries.
Okay. Grubble, what do you do?
Gribble is now in close range to the one he was charging at. He's gonna try and glue it to the floor.
Glue it to the floor. Sure, with your with glue magic.
My new glue magic, little glue bubble.
Sure
little
thing.
glue bubble.
Aklis.
Sorry?
Oh.
Aklis, your action.
So the one I squished is dead, but there's how many more?
Three more. One of them is like grapple is trying to keep stuck in the ground, and the two others, Triss is grappling with them, but it's two versus one there.
Okay, I'm gonna go over to Triss. I'm gonna pull out Transformer, wield it for the first time, and like do 2 attacks against each one.
All right, attack both of them. Sure.
Yeah.
So now, if you attack both of them, they would. If you were alone versus them, just to do a quick reminder about the mechanics, you would get disadvantage because they have more hit dice in total than you do. But because Triss is already there, is helping you, it's you compare the total hit dice of you versus them,
I'm helping
and they don't have more than both of you combined. So that means you still attack without disadvantage.
Actually, I have a question. For the 2 attacks that happen on the Barkadile that Triss is upon, would that not give Ekless advantage because the Barkadile is distracted by the summoning trying to bite off its face?
That sounds right.
Well, depending on how you phrase it, if you want to give them advantage, they will get advantage, but then you won't do damage yourself.
That's fine.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Triss happily utilizes their face as a distraction as they attempt to bite down on the Barkadile's giant ugly craw, thus bringing down the chaosometer and supporting Ekless in their much more intensive attacks.
That's right, the chaosometer goes down because of this cooperation between characters, and then you will have advantage when you attack. Durt, what is your action?
I think probably again, still kind of frustrated and annoyed with the surrounding cacophony. So if he turns and looks real quick, what can he see with like a super quick glance?
Wagon, Wilk on the wagon, Marigold tied to the wagon, and next to underneath the wagon, there's actually 3 Barkadiles. One of them is Triss. And next to the wagon, there's Ekless with Transformer trying to stab and slash underneath between the wheels to get at these Barkadiles. A little way away, a few meters away, there's Grapple trying to cast spells on a 3rd Barkadile.
A 4th Barkadile, right? A 4th Barkadile, right?
Right,
A 4th
Because the 3rd one's dead.
Yes. Cool. Dirt, what do you do?
I think Dirt's gonna just kind of like sit, grab his Manorials, just kind of like heal himself up a little bit, Bunchy style.
All right, and just keep chatting to the mushrooms.
Yeah, but the Manorials are the way he heals, so I'll roll that die to heal up from the spell points that I used.
All right, Ekless, roll strength with advantage. Grapple, roll your spend hit points and roll intelligence.
Do I need to roll dexterity in order to support Ekless?
No, it just happens. There's no roll necessary.
Nice.
So, yeah, you only gain 3, and you some of the Manorials are gone. You end up with a smaller pack than you started after you're done eating some of them. You get 3 hit points back. Ekless, you hit, and Grubble, you made it. What does this spell do, and how many hit points does it cost?
It costs 3, I think. I've got a smaller version that just makes my hand sticky, but I think this one little glue bubble is 3 cost.
Okay.
I'm gonna glue so is it still vertical?
It is, yeah.
I'm gonna put my hands on the bit that's touching the ground, which I think is its mouth, and I'm gonna stick a glue bubble all around its mouth and glue it to the floor.
Okay, it really feels like wood. They're covered in something that really mimics bark very well, and you touch it, and a bubble grows around the neck and some of like the base of the head of the creature, and just sticks it right to the ground.
I mean, if it's gonna grow that big, then I might make the point that it could start suffocating to death. Although, no, crocodiles can hold their breath for a long time. It'll be fine.
All right, sure. So yeah, it is gonna block.
Way to
its
talk
breathing
yourself out of a good point.
for-
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
As I was saying it, I'm like, but nature.
But animal cruelty. Okay, so sure.
No Barcadiles were harmed in making this
You
episode.
made it, Aklis. You want to start attacking?
Yeah.
Roll the damage, but do it one die at a time, and tell me which of the Barcadiles you're attacking.
Okay. Oh god, so Transformer is a D10.
It is a D10.
Holy shit. So that's
Right, what
the...
it's like as you pull it from its sheath.
Okay. So Aklis draws their sword. It's big. It's like black with skulls on it, and there's like dark energy crackling about the sword, and they just... Is it a two-handed sword?
And the sword goes,
It sure is.
yeah! And there's another voice saying, go, yeah, good job, go right ahead. As you swing the sword at one of them and deal 3 points of damage. That's the first attack.
Yeah.
Second
And then
attack.
I attack the same one.
Yeah,
Again.
sure.
That's better.
10 means you have, again, exactly dispatched it. You break it and it falls apart. Triss, that's the one that you have your, whose tail you're biting. So it just stops moving all of a sudden and there's like sap oozing out of it.
I mean, again, part of my assist is that I was biting its face, but I have a question. Because I was supporting Aklis. Do I have time to try to jump backwards to the other one, or no?
Sure,
To
you
assist
can.
Aklis that way?
I mean, the advantage applies anyway because they already rolled. It doesn't really matter. You gave Aklis advantage with the whole thing. Just by what
Okay.
you did.
I mean, I think if Triss kind of saw this, it would almost feel like that's the next thing to do. So they'd like jump to the next Barcadile and try to bite their tail.
And then I
help
attack
Aklis.
that one.
Next attack. Another
Again.
3. That's a
And, okay.
grazing blow, and then another one. That's a good cut, but it's still not dead. There's just a little bit more.
But luckily, Triss is holding its tail.
So Triss is like, yeah, it's biting the end of the Barcadile and kind of trying to keep it in place. We'll see next round what happens with it. And Grubble, you just kind of neutralized the last one. The one remaining Barcadile that's still up. So you don't feel any danger from it right now. What do you do next?
I finally, the Wilk shouting finally gets through to Grubble, and he's like, Wilk, do something to help! And while this one that's right in front of me is not moving, I'm gonna slash at it with my swish knife, hopefully with advantage.
Sure, yeah, you do get advantage. Aklis and Triss, same thing?
So Triss has the tail in their mouth, and they look up at Aklis, and like if they were a dog, there would be drool, but they're not a dog. So what you kind of see is like a little bit of like Triss smoke comes out, almost like they're drooling a little bit, like.
You're doing marvelously, darling.
Perfect. And so Aklis, yeah, you have advantage on your roll, and Grubble also attack with advantage. Durt, what do you do?
The chaosometer goes down to 8.
Oh yeah, it goes down to 8 now. Nice.
Oh no, just in time.
So there's just the one left, but Grubble's attacking it, right?
There's one very heavily wounded one that Aklis is going to dispatch very quickly.
Okay. Dirt's he's still annoyed by everything going on. He's just gonna stand up, turn around, and in a voice that you've never heard before, and it's Amanamani, but with this kind of new tremory, earth-moving, like the trembling shake. He's going to say very sternly, not angrily, but stern, "Hey, knock it off. I'm trying to have a conversation here." I would say it louder, but my kids are sleeping. And it is nothing anyone has heard in, like, he's talking to the Barcadile, but it probably stops everyone in their tracks if it's successful.
Okay,
Oh,
so
Triss immediately thinks like it's a bad dog moment, and you just see Triss's eyes turn to Dirt like,
Yep.
Triss doesn't need the spell.
Dirt doesn't feel bad at all.
Dirt, is it an existing spell you have, or is it something new?
I think it's Amanomi's intimidation, but I'll leave that up to you if it needs to be something additional.
So it's the same kind of thing, only it affects a group, which means instead of costing, it costs 2 normally.
Yeah.
Right, so it's gonna cost 4 when you affect a group with it, a group of enemies.
Okay, and since this is Amanomini, I will use my I'll use the chaos to help.
Oh yeah, you can, of course. Roll your chaos die.
Did it roll?
You got 6,
Nice.
pay 4 of them, and roll wisdom. Aklis and Grubble, roll your attacks, please.
Okay.
Right.
Strength with advantage.
God damn it! What the hell is going on today?
All right, both of you made it. Aklis, roll damage, even though it's kind of an academic question right now, because there's literally no way you won't do enough damage. But let's roll 4d10 to see what happens. Yep, 28 damage would be enough to kill 1.5 of these creatures
that'll
fully
do it.
healthy. So please give a description of what you do when you kill this heavily wounded one.
I stab it. Does it have eyes?
Sure, yeah.
I stab it in the eye.
Okay.
That's what happens.
You stab and impale it to the ground. This transformer goes through, and you hear its muffled voice through the earth going "Yeah, arrgh," as it just destroys the creature.
Go to sleep.
Shabard says, "It's okay. That's what it likes. It likes violence. That's okay. It likes killing." And Grubble, yeah, you do your damage, which is how much? 3?
3!
Well, you scratch it.
Just extra special straight after seeing 28.
It's a good scratch. It's a good scratch. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah. So next is Durt. You failed. Do you want to roll on the chaosometer for maybe get a chance to succeed?
I mean, if it's already dead, I think it's more that it was a warning call. Like it's probably a side of Dirt no one has seen before, and I think that's enough for them to kind of be like, oh shit.
Sure. The description stands. It just doesn't have the magical power behind it that you hope it
Right.
would. And just like that, the battle is over. You look around you. Wilk is shaking. Marigold is stomping anxiously, trying to get away, but she's tied to the wagon, so she can't really run away from the barcadiles. Grubble is covered in glue and soapy bubbles. And Dirt is holding mushrooms, and they are.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Look, man, you connected now. What just happened is you're open. You're open up to the world around you. Do you feel it?
I mean, I feel something, but I don't know if it's openness. It is like an airy. It's airy. I feel very airy, but I don't know if it's open.
Well, you're kind of closed. You know, you have a hard shell, but somehow you opened up, man.
Okay, and now what? Now what? What happens now?
Well, I don't know. I guess you need to find someone to talk to, someone that can can open up like you, someone you can talk honestly to about this, man. It's an experience.
Okay, but will I see you again? Like what do we do now? Sorry that I ate some of your friends, but
Oh, that's okay. Just put us down on the ground next to our brothers and sisters, and wherever you see us in the jungle, that's us, man. That's always us.
okay. All right. Well, okay. I think I have many more questions, but I'll just I'll figure them out later.
All right. You can ask us later on if you meet us on your way.
Sure. Oh, it sounds good. Hey, what are your names?
Oh, what are their names? That's a good question.
Gus and Guy are fairly standard. mushroom names.
What's the name? What's the name?
Gus
and Guy.
Gus Room.
Guy. Yeah, that's their names. Man.
Fun, because he's such a fun Gus.
Yeah.
And I mean, Guy's just a fun guy.
Yeah, we're all about fun, they say, as you put them down, I assume? Back down on
Pretty
the...
cool. I'm a pretty fun guy too. I'm very funny and I tell good jokes and people laugh and most people like me when they meet me.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Nice. So,
Okay.
As you like, I feel like as Dirt's saying that, like trying to be like, oh yeah, I'm a fun guy too. You can just see like Guy the mushroom and Gus the mushroom being like,
Sure, man. Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, you're
So
fun.
wait, is the stoned effect wearing off the
Super
rest of us?
fun. It's gonna slowly wear off over the next minute or so. Yeah.
Okay. I'm still trying
I'm
to
gonna
slice
go-
the one in front of me.
Oh yeah. Sure. Necklace.
I'm gonna go see that Marigold's okay, that she's not traumatized or anything.
Well,
She.
and Triss is like prancing like a prized poodle behind Atlas, and like panting a little bit, like their little Barkadile, Barkatriss, tongue is just like hanging out, lolling out a little bit, and just like super excited to see Marigold, and all you can hear is, "I did so good, I did so good."
Marigold is anxious. She needs some calming down. She needs some relaxing. You know how she gets when she's afraid of something that she feels like might eat her.
Yeah, I'll talk to her. I'll get her to calm down.
What do you say?
It's all right, my beautiful girl. We're perfectly safe now. Nothing's gonna harm you. Nothing's gonna hurt you. Not while I'm around, because
Yeah.
I'll always be by your side.
It was a pretty close call there.
It was. No, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't, because I was protecting you, and I'll never let anything happen to you.
Do you mean that?
Of course.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
And it's okay to say no.
Nay, say nay.
I'm normally not this forward, but can I have an apple?
Of course. I look around. Do I see an apple?
There's no apples growing in the jungle. No.
Is there any fruit on the trees around us that is?
Of course there is. Lots of strange fruit.
There's mushrooms.
Ooh. Lots of weird fruit.
Apples?
I pick some fruit
Nice.
and I'll ask Marigold if she wants to eat it, but it seems that she does want to eat it. So
Idamar, do
takes it
not
right
kill
away.
our horse. Do not kill our horse, Idamar.
As soon as she's done, she says, "Thanks, Atlas. Will you ride me?"
Okay.
I do not ship it.
There's some pony girl vibes. I'm not gonna lie.
No vibes. I don't.
I just this cart. I don't prefer to pull it. I miss being ridden.
Ridden.
The wild road.
We'll see what we can do. I think
Is
we can get a saddle,
Transformer
but-
outside of the scabbard right now?
yeah, I should probably clean it a little bit.
Transformer goes, yes. She will be your mighty steed. You will ride her into battle.
Oh,
I will. All right then.
Atlas?
I suppose.
One more thing.
Yes.
Please keep Wilk away from me.
You have my word.
And right then, the communication chain breaks off, and now it's just back to normal horse.
The camera pans to Grubble, which is now in the middle of what exactly?
Well, I'd like to argue that he slashed at it again. He's done another 2 damage. I'd like to argue that it has died of suffocation before I managed to finish.
It did, but you cut it enough. You slashed at it and you cut it enough so that there's some more of this sap that the other barcadiles bled that's coming out of its wounds now, and it's exactly the kind of consistency that you're looking for. Which means you can now that your all of your heads start clearing up. You realize that you've been talking to a tree and then a horse, and you were trying to play a game with deadly predator monsters, and you were speaking to some mushrooms, and you were very up close and personal with a barcadile that you weren't sure is gonna break free any second. You take stock of what just happened the last minute or so, and Grubble, you see this sap starting to pool around the sticky bubble on the ground, and you realize, yeah, it could be used as a reagent.
I'm gonna get like a leather water flask and fill it with the glue.
Roll, I guess, intelligence with advantage, actually, because you're formally educated. You know how to.
Oh,
recognize.
well,
Ooh,
this
you
time
failed.
I'm gonna absolutely use chaos to.
Yeah.
My first time
Sure.
to roll again.
No, it's not a reroll. It's it's rolling on the Chaos Surge table, which
To
means
see
you
what
roll a
happens,
D8.
right.
But avert your eyes if you don't want to see the Chaos table in front of you right now.
Okay.
I need to bring it aside to have it available. And yeah, now it's open, and you can roll a D8.
4.
You rolled a 4. 4 is lame. Your action fails, and you embarrass yourself. You are
Covered in-
yeah. You end up with sap all over your vest and your
That's right,
cravat.
yep.
Yeah.
And as I try to clean the sap off, I get my hand stuck to myself.
Yeah.
I feel like it's that scene from Brooklyn Nine-Nine when he's like, "Oh, my muffin on my head, my muffin."
Yep.
But it's just that.
Yeah, so that you don't manage to harvest any of it, unfortunately.
Nope.
Yeah.
One quick thing before Durt is done talking. It says, "Hey, Guy and Gus, one more thing before I go."
Yeah.
Guy, Gus, hey, is there something else that I can maybe bring with me that will make me more connected? Like, is there like a thing that I can kind of, take with me that would make me more connected still?
It's I don't know, like the people we know, we saw that they can do this kind of thing. There's like some animals and some people and some other creatures. It's all something like an inner strength, It's not something they do or they eat or anything.
Huh.
Yeah.
When you say this kind of thing, could you maybe just shed a little bit of light on that? Because,
Well, the people who can talk to us, it's not everyone.
oh,
It's just you and some other maybe some others that sometimes they go through here. They have like a name. But I don't remember what it is.
okay. Well, if it comes to you, I'm around.
Yeah, we're around too.
That's a rock joke. It's good. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Where should we go now? What should we do? We don't really have any specific thing that we need to do now.
What are you looking for, man?
Is there like a thing in the forest that's bad that we could help to make not bad, or like
Durt, ask him about the Tree of Life.
is there like a any sort of big special thing in this forest that needs our assistance, or like something that we could do? I don't know, maybe like a Tree of Life or something.
Oh, there's lots of big things. Yeah, sure, man, sure. There's a big house. There's a big house, and the house is like moving around, and wherever it goes, all the animals run away.
A big house, huh?
Yeah, it's a big house that moves around, and then also there is a big tree. There is a big tree.
Where is that tree?
Well, we're right there, man. We're looking right at it.
Oh,
Yeah.
where? Okay, so it's like right here.
No, it's right. It's right here for us, not for you.
Do you mean? Wait. So it's I can't see the tree.
Well, no, not until you can look, not just talk to us, but also look with us.
Oh man. Okay. Well, hey, thanks, guys. You're pretty fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
if
you,
you-
man. See
If
you
you want to
around.
come with. Oh, okay. Goodbye.
Keep rocking.
Yes.
And yeah, they stay there. Already taking root again and connecting to the network of fungus that permeates this jungle. So you go back to your friends. What is the Wait, was there a glitch just then? Did I freeze for a
Yeah,
second?
we briefly froze. I don't know if we're.
Yeah.
I think we're back.
Something happened, yeah, but I think we're back. Okay, so they stay there. They connect back to their loving family underground, and you can rejoin your friends.
I think we were poisoned, everyone. I don't know how it happened. I had very slow reaction speed. I wasn't able to cast magic properly. How are you all feeling now?
Triss the Barcadile looks from you to Atlas to Durt. I feel fine.
Therese, you look like a crocodile, but you have like a funny tail and teeth.
Huh?
I feel all right now, but it does seem that earlier our perception was altered, or
Really? I didn't feel
Something
anything.
was-
I was just talking to the mushrooms.
Right. Well, we'll have to
what
be.
did they say?
It was hard to hear because you guys were all doing something behind me, but I don't know. But they were talking about connectedness, and they said that I'm open. Did you know that, guys? I'm open, and but they said that we won't be able to find the tree until I get high again. At least that's the way that I understood it. So, I guess. Let's go. And maybe we just start eating everything in the forest to see what it does.
Well,
Oh, I
Dirt reaches for a branch.
I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, we all just got poisoned a minute ago.
This is just a stick.
Right. Well, Trish,
If Dirt throws the stick, Triss will run after the stick and then bring it back.
No, Therese, it's just a stick. And he throws it again.
And Triss runs for it. This time Triss brings it to Atlas.
Oh, thank you. Do you want me to
Marigold
keep
gets
it, or
Marigold gets jealous and kind of nudges Triss out of the way.
Okay,
Or do
for
you
the
want the
record,
stick?
Chris and Marigold have nightly chats. I think Marigold's fine.
It's a playful nudge.
maybe y'all should talk about it?
Are you close to the wagon while you're speaking, next to Marigold in the wagon?
I mean, Triss with the stick is.
I've been cleaning
And I
glue
think
off
Atlas as well,
myself.
because I was trying to calm Marigold down.
So, Dirt, if you join them there, you're standing next to the wagon as well, and Wilk looks at you. Do you look wounded now? You lost quite a few hit points.
Who, Dirt?
Yeah.
No, only 2 because he healed. I healed up.
And then you spent 4 more on the spell.
No,
right? Oh,
I
the part
used-
with chaos. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which one of you is wounded right now, at all? If at all?
Not me. I used
Not
exactly
me.
my total of magic points.
So, what does your wound look like? Because it's not a physical wound. It's not something that attacked you. You just spent it on casting spells. What does it look like when you're less than full hit points?
My lava, it's not as bright. Like it's kind of my life force is draining, I guess you could say. And a couple more cracks probably appear.
So Wilk leans out from the wagon, like with still sitting in the wagon, but just leans out as far as possible, one hand grabbing the railing, and the other one reaches towards you and touches one of the dark cracks, one crack that just went completely dim, and goes, "Oh, you poor thing, and she touches it.
Don't touch.
There's it feels extremely soft, like the most gentle touch ever, and you feel the heat appearing again and starting to radiate out of this crack in your arm that was completely dim, and the lava starts glowing out of it again. She pulls her hand back and goes, "Ooh, I guess it's still warm," and you can fill up your 2 missing hit points.
Nice.
Ooh.
You know, I used to be able to do the same thing. Whatever, no big deal. But thank you. It's fine.
Oh, what happened? Why
What
can't
do
you
you
do
mean?
it?
I don't really want to talk about it, but you know, it's personal. It's family things.
Well, I guess she looks at you, Grubble, and she says quietly, but still everyone can hear her, "I guess it's that thing having to do with his DAD."
I can spell, you idiot.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess he's angry with me now. I'm sorry. I'll go back in the wagon, she says, and she sits back down, and you just
Do
see
not
the top of her head.
touch Marigold.
No. The last time I did that, she jumped and ran really quickly, and I almost lost control. I'm never gonna do
Right.
that unless you tell me
Good.
to.
No,
I'm gonna-
no touching the horse. Thank
Okay.
you.
No, definitely not at all. Triss.
Not Trish, Jade as a player has a question. Because what you had said last time is that Durt kind of failed at making the paved road. So if we want to keep moving, there's not going to be a road, right? So we have to leave the wagon.
Didn't he
But at least-
succeed at the cost of us getting stoned?
He didn't fail. He just didn't
Oh, okay.
cast a spell this morning yet. He just didn't do it yet because he didn't decide where you're going.
That's right. Because Triss and I saw, Triss saw 2 directions to go, like southwest or southeast.
And Triss is just like on the ground, kind of one crocodile or barkadile foot, sort of scratching at a barkadile ear, and just kind of like leaning against Marigold a little bit. Where should we go?
Well, Triss, you saw the directions better than I did, and the other 2 didn't see it at all. So you tell us what you saw.
There's something big and shadows, and there's little big trees, but there's no tops.
There's no tops.
They're just smooth. But I feel like the shadowy place is cool. But I don't care. Wherever Atlas wants to go, and Marigold, and Grapple, and Durt.
Well, I mean, I might be wrong. I've always had the impression, just in my mind, that the Tree of Life would be a particularly big and lively tree.
But it's
does
not supposed to be
make
found by
sense.
everyone. So shadows. And throughout all of this, you're
But
just
we know that leaf, that the seed that you have, it's somewhere sunny and muddy. So we kind of want to find somewhere sunny, not shadowy. So I'm thinking towards the large, smooth trees would be the smarter choice.
Right. Dud, can you perhaps ask your mushroom friends?
I kind of already did, and what they said was that we won't be able to see it until we open our eyes.
But our eyes are
You're
open.
in shadow.
I mean, look, I'm just telling you what they said, but you know, if you
It's
think, I
almost
don't know,
as bad as the troll riddles.
it's true. But Therese, you have the biggest eyes, so maybe we just follow you.
Woo. And at that, I think Triss kind of goes back into almost like just kind of like melts back, and they're just like on the ground, like looking up at Atlas, kind of hoping Atlas might bend over and grab them so they can be on their shoulder. But anyway,
Although, to be fair, we haven't really seen Atlas's eyes before. Maybe they are bigger than Therese's.
Could be.
What, you can
I
see
mean-
my eyes through the slits in my helmet.
Oh, that's true.
That's true.
But only the slit of them, not the whole eyeball. That's like.
Well, I don't think you can see anyone's whole eyeball.
Oh
I
yeah,
was-
and
I
Trish, Durt opens. Dirt opens his eye socket so wide.
Cool, not horrifying.
Like a little bit of lava, just like
And
a
it's
single tear.
a
just
bloodshot, yeah. But
Thank
his
you, that's
eyes-
so much
his
more
eyes
than
are
I
the same
needed.
color as his skin, so it just looks like kind of looks like rock. But yeah, there's no pupils.
Great.
Oh god.
I mean, I was scared, and then I was playing a game, and then I had new friends, and then we killed the friends, and now we're here, and I want to go where you want to go.
Atlas, what do you think?
Me? Sorry, Triss. Were you?
All of you, you're my friend.
Right.
But the
There you
shadows
go.
look cool.
I
Where
mean,
to?
I've said where I think we should go, but I'm still waiting.
Right,
to hear
let's
what Atlas-
let's do what Grubble thinks is right.
I love that no one even considers what Triss says. Like, I'll go with you, but I do want to go to the shadow place. And y'all are like, nah, Triss doesn't make sense for things.
Dirt said to follow Triss.
Right. So at the moment, it was actually 2 votes to Triss.
True. So
And
who
then
do we
Wilk,
let
what
have
do
the
you
want to
final
do?
vote?
Now it's 2
Right,
votes. to
Wilk
Rebel.
doesn't get a vote, obviously.
Absolutely
But
not.
maybe Marigold?
Yeah, which direction does so? Because we're gonna unhook her from the wagon because she doesn't want to pull the wagon anymore. So
But you don't know
we're.
that.
Pardon?
You don't know that.
As a player, I know. Okay, I'm sorry. Atlas, what are you gonna do with Marigold in the wagon?
I'm
I mean-
going to explain to Marigold dilemma.
I believe
Yeah, and-
Triss would want us to still have the wagon, because on the wagon is the eyes pad, and that's the only way, if we fix it, it's the only way we're going to be able to communicate with Trisisteron.
I mean, Triss had an idea about that. If we have to leave it, which is that Triss can take it. Triss can carry it.
I want to
The
see
entire, the
Triss
entire.
carry
I don't
more
think-
things inside of them.
I mean, Lift size 3 times the size of Triss.
This is all good plans, but at some point we have to reach a decision. If
Right.
you want to do something with Marigold or to choose where to go, either of these, but at some point tell me.
I'm going to
Okay.
explain to Marigold the 2 options and kind of tell her, so we can go this direction or this direction. And what do you choose?
Okay. Okay, yeah, I guess we have a Marigold.
Marigold starts walking.
Where does Marigold start walking? Marigold.
Southwest or southeast?
Do you
Sunset.
flip a coin or what?
Yeah. I feel like as a player, that's unfair for me to get to decide the final thing. So
I'm totally cool with wherever Marigold takes us.
Okay,
I'm also
so
fine with
I
that.
will make a decision, and I will say that Marigold goes in a direction which is, for the first couple of seconds, unclear to you, because it's just generally in the direction of south. But you do realize, Dirt, that if you don't cast your spell, Marigold with the wagon is just gonna walk right into the bushes and get stuck. Do you cast the spell or not? Because she's gonna stay
It's-
right here.
as soon as Dirt thinks he understands the path, the direction, then yeah, he'll pathify.
Okay, so 8 hit points, please.
Do I still have my 2 left over from the previous thing?
Chaos doesn't power this spell. No.
That's true.
Yeah, you have to pay your own hit points.
It's okay. I'll cozy up next to Wilk, and I'll get in the wagon with Wilk. And, are we taking the wagon or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
why not?
I'll get in the wagon with Wilk. It'll like tilt, and I'll just I'll use this moment as we're leaving to kind of say, okay, so sorry for being so weird, but you're a very strange person, and we don't know much about you. But you know what? I think we have a lot of time to get to know each other.
Road trip.
All right. We'll have this conversation next episode. And we'll see what happens with you. But you do lose 8 hit points, and you do have to roll wisdom in order to see if the spell succeeds in the first try. It does not. Do you roll on the chaosometer to make it work anyway or not?
Hey, can I try it again if I don't?
You can just try it again and spend the hit points again.
Sure, I'm gonna do that, and I'll get even closer to Wilk.
Roll wisdom.
Okay,
Durt.
I'm
I just hope
very
it works this time.
yeah.
Yay!
It worked. So you spent 16 total hit points. You are very heavily wounded then.
It's true.
Yeah. Okay. Wilk looks at you. We'll start the next episode describing this because you are very close to passing out right now, and we'll see what happens with that.
Ooh,
She's
maybe that's
kind
the
of.
ticket to being open.
She's kind
To
of.
Will.
She's kind of mortified to see that, but her response we'll describe it later. And yeah, you start walking. After a few minutes of walking through the path, the spell keeps working. I'll remind you throughout the day. It's going to work until you stop for the night, which means that slowly you see the ground slowly smooth and the plants move aside to create the impression of a path that seems like it just naturally grew that way to begin with. And it just forms wherever Marigold is walking and carrying you, Durt, with her on the wagon. We see our heroes, some of them walking, some of them riding the wagon, some of them walking next to Marigold or in front of or behind the wagon. And slowly we move away. The camera pans out and up, and we see that the path curves ever so gently, just starts to curve towards the southeast, more to the east, to where the trees get taller and taller and combine to create a flat canopy on the top, which looks like an endless plain on the top of the trees. And that is where you're going to get to next. The camera keeps panning. We lose sight of of the four questers, and we focus on a different point in the jungle. It's very unclear exactly how distant or in which direction from your characters this point is, but some characters move through the jungle. Leading them is a tall figure, almost 9 feet tall, muscular, and wearing a tank top, swinging a machete. And just instead of beating away branches, low branches and hanging leaves and branches, he breaks and sweeps aside whole trees, entire trees, just break apart and are thrown around. Behind him, 4 other figures, one of them somehow holding a perfectly balanced glass of wine. The other one is very short and covered in hair completely. The fourth one, the third companion to this tall figure, is wearing a straw, wide brim hat. And the last one, bringing up the rear, how do I describe poeticism? Actually, I'm not sure. Does he have the
Caterpillar from
headscarf?
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, he's very, very slim and slender, and he doesn't really walk. He just kind of like
floats.
hovers.
Yeah, floats above.
It's like a forward moonwalk.
Yeah, exactly. And they're on their way. They're on their way. Unclear exactly if they're ahead or behind this group of heroes. In a completely other part of the jungle, a third group is walking through. One of them is from, at least if you look from the outside, an accurate copy of Aklis. Looks exactly the same. It's Damien Darkmoor, the
very different on the inside though.
Oldest sibling, and a much less cool sword. Not as cool on Damien's back. On their shoulder, another smoky summoning, and behind the 2 other friends, Kyldin with the yak head and horns, and Hanska Olo, the very tall, thin figure who's wearing a hair like a tight dress. And they are also on their way. Again, unclear when exactly they got here, and if at all, whether or not and how much they're ahead of you. And this is what we see before we go dark, and we're gonna say goodbye to our heroes for this week and we'll see them again next week for the next episode. Thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, Walrus, you joined us right when we were ending, but as you were told, all the episodes are on YouTube. This one is going to be up every episode is up by Saturday at the latest, probably usually before, and you can see all the previous episodes as well to see all of the adventures of our heroes up till now. All of you can go there. You can go to our Facebook page and see our weekly schedule and messages about other kinds of shows and events that we have on. I'm up every Saturday night to play a game with the audience. If you want to come be the hero of your own story and have me run an improvised game to you while you make decisions for the main character, you can join us on Saturday night. And on Monday nights, always 8:30 Israel time in Finland, 7:30 CET, 6:30 GMT. We're going to be here playing Questers of Yalpelor. Until then, stay safe, play hard, and have an excellent night.
And wear a mask.